Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everyone, another TV episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's with me tonight?
I'm Peter Bingham-Pankratz, the author of the novel The Fifth Civilization.
And then it's the president of the Bo-Katan fan club, Karusetta, Kerry Chandler.
The show this season that pretty much is Bo-Katan season. So, hey, there's that. So, we are here to talk about The Mandalorian Season 3, which came out in 2023. Hey, we're actually not that far away from when it came out, because you're hearing this in June. So, and it ended in April.
I was saying, it feels like it's been forever.
It does. Yeah. A lot has happened. So much has happened.
Yeah.
I rewatched it again, and I watched a recap today just to... So I need something to watch while I was editing, so I was doing that. So this season, I feel like people are... Because I always like to look online a lot of times before we do these episodes and kind of see what reviews and what other people say. And there were a lot of people bitching about this season on YouTube.
Were they all from after the first episode? Because that would make a lot of sense.
They were like the whole season.
They're wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
the first episode was not good, but the rest of the season was very good.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I personally thought it was a little bit less engaging than the previous seasons, but I had a great time, and by the end, it was a spectacular ending. So I don't get the hate either.
It wasn't as good as the first season to me. I liked it better than this. I liked it similarly on par with the second.
This didn't feel like
the second season.
This was a pilot for other shows, like the second season kind of feels.
Yeah, well, yeah, it feels like
I think you got there for a second.
Oh,
it feels like a return to the original idea of a space western, and it is definitely setting up something else, though. It's in the background is something else going on, and I guess we'll get to that when we get to that episode.
Yeah, but it's not too bad. Like it didn't.
No.
It wasn't like, I mean, with season 2, you have the Ahsoka episode, you have a Boba Fett like you have a lot of stuff that's leading to other shows. Like I think in season 2, they're getting ready to have Cara Dune's own show. So
that was in the long ago period of 2019 when the world was very different.
God, is that when she got fired?
Well, next year. Next year.
It was the next year. It was during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, they made sure her character is put away too.
Yes, indeed.
I love how in the first episode he's like, "Where's Cara Dune?" He's like, "Oh, she went to go work for the rebels. She's gone." Or well, not the rebel, but the New Republic.
That was a better ending than they could have given her. So
yeah.
Well, you know what ending where she's in this episode. She's sort of in this season.
I must have missed that.
I was reading online somewhere. Somebody told me apparently in that when you see this is way later, but when you see the shuttle that was destroyed that had Moff Gideon in it, it's supposed to be her arm in the corner.
Well, that's okay. That's a very deep cut if that's the case.
Yeah,
I doubt that's true.
Okay, I don't know if Disney ever said, but it's maybe someone said because they do make comment that she was involved with escorting Gideon. They do somewhere that is said that she was.
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. Disney doesn't apply that. They put her in the vault and she'll never be spoken of again.
I just thought it was hilarious. But she's
in the Disney vault, whatever, with the holiday special.
Well, she's stupid. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're
fuck her.
Don't be opening your mouth.
I'm good. I didn't like her. I didn't like her before she went before she revealed her crazy. So it's all good.
I just thought it was so funny in the first episode. Like, yeah, she's gone because they had to do something that to mention what happened to her. So they just kept it real brief. Like, yep, she's gone. Bye.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, y'all go ahead. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh, you are right, though. The first episode is boring. Like, I rewatched it. I'm like, this is not that exciting.
It's not just boring. It's like, it's just slipshod and quick. It assumes you watched a terrible... We watched because we're podcasters, but no one should be expected to have watched the Book of Boba Fett. But they're just like, yep, he and Baby Yoda are back together. Figure it out. Hope you watched our other show. And there's that. So I saw a lot of people online who didn't watch Book of Boba Fett with good reason, or who started Book of Boba Fett and didn't make it to the 2 good episodes. And so they didn't understand why Grogu is with Din Djarin. But it also is just like, it's like, and here's this, and now we're doing this. Here's this, now we're doing this. And it's just one thing after another, bam, 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 bam. It's just so much happens in it, and it's very, I don't know. I just didn't think it was good. It was well written. I also thought the little Babu Frick guys, it was, I don't know. Leave that where it was. Let that be dead.
You were just upset to be reminded of that movie exists.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like the little Babu Frick guys they were fine. My son enjoyed it. We were watching it. He's like, they're like Babu Frick. I'm like, yep, they sure are.
Just
they're gonna build
silently raging against
They're gonna build Baby Yoda a IG-11 mech.
Oh, hey, I'm excited for that because that means there'll be a Funko Pop at some point down the road of that. So hey, I'm okay with it.
Guaranteed, the toy makers are salivating over the IG-11 possibilities with yes, no.
Yeah,
there'll be some electronic toy that comes out.
It's a hot Christmas toy, I'm sure.
And I'll have it if it's Funko Pop. I will have it.
Yeah, I thought this episode was pretty weak too. I was not impressed by the opening fight either with with what I see is called a dinosaur turtle attacks the Mandalorians. I felt like there's a lot going on and a lot of the action sequence wasn't thrilling me. And for an opening bit, I thought it could have used some more punching up. I don't know. It didn't grab me.
Yeah, it didn't work. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. Like, to kind of go back to what Kerry said that I completely forgot when we started talking, is the fact that you're right. I mean, if you don't watch Book of Boba Fett, you're completely confused. And also, this is 2 years have passed in Star Wars world from the time that Grogu leaves in season 2 to when we start season 3. And he's with Luke for 1 year, and he's been with the Mandalorian again for another year since Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, has it been a bit years since Book of Boba Fett also?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It kind of gives you an idea of like, which again isn't stated, but that's what the internet was telling me.
Yeah, you could tell because when they go to Navarro, it's just completely and utterly different. It looks like 50 years have passed.
Yeah.
Like there's a giant tree in front of the bar that wasn't there before. I don't know if they transplanted it or if they have like space tree growing technology that makes trees grow really fast, or if that's like a fast growing tree. But it's like a 100-year oak tree in front of the bar that used to just be like a little sandy street. But that's fine.
We do get I'm not going to mispronounce them. We get the Salacious Crumb, the monkey lizards.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Just hanging out in the trees.
Which is a nice touch. That's a good callback. That's the appropriate amount of callbacks that I appreciate.
Yeah. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
It should have been that, what is that yellow thing from Heir to the Empire called?
The Force things?
The ones that like eat Force.
Yeah.
Force. Yeah.
That's that's a specialty animal, Mike. I don't know if they...
I know, but that's what I wanted in there. Like,
So is Salacious... That's a good question. Salacious Crumb, is he a person or an animal?
That's getting into... Yeah. That's like, why is Mickey sentient but Pluto isn't? Is Goofy a dog?
Goofy and Pluto, is Goofy a dog?
It seems like they're semi-sentient at best because
they
clearly,
yeah, they like to laugh.
Unknown. I think the answer is unknown.
But it was I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like seeing Grief Karga. Oh, God, I forgot the actor's name.
Carl Weathers.
Yes, I like seeing him again. I do like him, all dressed up now because he's a grand magistrate. Like, I thought all that was cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that the turn they gave his character over the course of the series.
Yeah.
Or over the course of season 1, really. But
yeah, because he's in season 2 a little bit. Not a lot.
Because he starts off, he becomes like a villain pretty early in the show, and then he becomes a good guy, and now he's Lando. He's the former rogue, now a governor trying to do right by his people.
It's nice to see. I mean, you are right with the Babu Frick guy, the little guys where they just have him in there. Where again, a lot of the show felt like we're trying to fix things that make more sense over that terrible movie we made. The Skywalker. Can't remember the name of it all of a sudden.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, cause that's kind of how this show felt. Like, there's things in here that we'll talk about that really felt like we got to put pieces in. So if somebody watches this, eventually we'll make Rise of Skywalker better because we're like, oh, see, they were doing this years before. Yeah, even though we published this afterward. But yeah. That's how it felt. So
I do like the design of Gorian Shard, the pirate captain. I think he's a pirate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a pirate captain.
Pirate crew. Yeah. It looked like a practical mask. I don't know if it was or digitally enhanced or whatever, but as far as aliens go, it looked like a real alien. So I was impressed with that.
Yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
It was a little bit Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know which villain.
Yes, he looked like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
There we go.
Yep.
I could not help but think of that, even though I didn't remember the character's name.
That was exactly what I thought of when I saw it. I was like, yep, he's a Cthulhu guy.
And he's even a pirate. Okay, well, there you go.
He's even a pirate, yep. And it's a Disney and they're both Disney properties.
No, it's all fitting together now. It's all fitting together.
But it's also a new race that we get, so that was cool too.
So even though it reminded me of that, I didn't mind it. I felt like it was cool, and it made sense that we get a new alien for once. I appreciate it.
It's fine. Yeah,
I liked the Moss Man. That's what he looked like, a Moss Man.
Moss Man.
yeah, that's true. He did look like he's made of moss.
I thought when they were doing it, when they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna like our pirate captain," I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be one of the pirate captains from Rebels and Clone Wars." There's a certain guy, and I thought that's where they were gonna go with it, but they made a new character instead, which I'm 100% okay with.
Yeah,
since they just murdered him anyway. So,
yeah,
but it was cool to see. I mean, it was fine. It's a little boring, but it's a fine episode.
It is fine. It's kind of the whole episode kind of was like just setting up. It's like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna go to the mines, but first we're gonna go meet Grief Karga so we can set up that Navarro still exists, so you can go back there later. All right, and then we're gonna set up that IG-11's being worked on, so we can bring that back later. All right, and then we're gonna set up a pirate guy that'll come up later too. Okay, anyway, and then we're gonna beat Bo-Katan for the next episode.
I really thought it was going to take him like all season to get to Mandalore, to get to the spring. Like, I was surprised how that's happened in episode 2 or 3. No, 2. Yeah. Like, that kind of surprised me how quick it goes. But there should have been some kind of recap or something that mentions, oh yeah, in Book of Boba Fett we did this. There's no reference to Book of Boba Fett at all in this.
Yeah, they I think they want to forget Book of Boba Fett.
These, as much as it would slow things down, I feel like an opening crawl might be good for these types of shows. Like, I know they do a recap like Leon, but like a brief crawl, like now that Grogu and Mandalorian are back together, they have returned to, Navarro to meet High Magistrate Grief Karga or something like that,
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that.
They probably keep them for the movies, but still, something in universe to like.
I mean, they could just have a character be like, I thought that he went to go be a Jedi, and then he goes, he decided not to, and he came back to me. It's like, okay,
a line of dialogue can clear right up.
Yeah,
I think it was more we want to forget we did this.
They go to meet Bo-Katan, and she's just sitting on her uncomfortable throne in her empty castle. I don't know. I thought that was really silly, honestly, when they went there.
Hey, she has one droid that works for her, apparently.
She has a droid, and then she just sits in this throne room and does nothing.
Nope, there's no food, nothing. She just looks funny, too, the way she's just sitting there across the throne when they walk in. I don't know. Just
presumably they detected that he was coming, and so then she went up there to sit in her throne to receive him, I guess, is what they're going for. I assume that's what it is, and that there's an actual like living space underneath all that.
It's just kind of funny though. Like
Yes, it was. I thought it was dumb.
And they should have said at this point, they could have said, well, yeah, it's been 2 years since I've seen you, or something to put the time frame in.
Yeah.
I like time frame. I like knowing how long it's been since something's happened in a show or in anything. That's a personal thing. So I was a little bummed I didn't do that. But
yeah, but I was like, when she showed up in that first episode, I was like, all right, here we go again. I guess Bo-Katan's going to be a villain in the season because she wants the Darksaber. And then she didn't. And it actually went, I thought her character had a good season.
No, she did. I mean, that was, I think, one of the complaints, too, that the show was more of a Mandalorian show with, Bo-Katan and other Mandalorians and not Mando. And I know some people complained about that, which, that's fine.
Oh, I thought that was great.
Me too.
I thought that was a good way to go with it. So.
Because also,
like I said, it's become a. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the season does a good job. I feel. We'll get there of wrapping up of the series in a way too.
Yeah, they definitely left it where they could just stop after this season and it would be great. But Jon Favreau says he's already written season 4.
Yeah, and that's the last season. Then we get a movie.
Yeah, so which is good because they left it where there could be another season in a movie, but they left it also where they could just stop it. And they won't because Money. It's doing great. It's doing great still, and. Well, actually, we don't really know how it's doing because with the streaming, they can just say whatever they want. But I bet it's doing great. I mean,
yeah, I bet of all the Disney shows, it's probably in the top. So
yeah, but yeah, I thought Bo-Katan had a good arc in this season. What I was going to say is that the show's just become something very different than what it started off as. The first season was this like episodic space western. The second season is this like very focused narrative. And then the third season was also this very focused narrative. So it's become very different than what it started, I think. But that doesn't make it bad. I think it's
just
good.
different.
It's good. It's just different.
I like the focus more than the Western type theme that went from the first one. I'm assuming season 4 is going to be back to the Western. Is my guess.
I think they're going to stick with the focus thing, honestly, but no telling. I personally, season 1 is still my favorite. I like the episodic storytelling more than the focus story thing, but the focus story was good in this one. In season 2, the focus story was good, but it was sometimes a little silly.
And I don't remember episode 1 or 2 where you see the space whales in the background, which I'm assuming meant nothing to you, both of you.
No,
when he's in hyperspace.
I think that's in the first episode. I think it's the first episode.
It means nothing unless you...
I looked it up.
Okay.
I know, it's from Rebels, right?
Yeah, did you spoil what they do or what they did?
No, I looked up and saw the Wikipedia article was long. Okay. And I said, okay, all right.
They play a big part with a certain character in putting that character away. That's why it was which is really cool to see. But I don't really want to go any farther than that because you guys haven't seen Rebels, so.
Yeah, it really seems like I have to sit down and watch Rebels.
When you let me know.
I started watching it and it was just like,
yeah, I know. It's rough.
Repellently childish. Like I was just like, I'm like 40. I'm 40 years old. Too old for this.
The first season is rough.
Can I watch like a season 1 recap and then just assume that
you could? Yeah.
Good enough?
Season 4 is when it gets.
Season 4.
Jesus. That's a lot of time to get to wait for.
Usually it's season 2.
I think 2 is good too. I think 2, 3, and 4 are all really good, but 3 and 4 include Thrawn, which you guys would be more interested in.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I figure I've got to watch Rebels. I just got to sit down and do it.
Well, especially with Ahsoka's show, because I mean, as you see, like they're getting ready. The Rebels are all going to be live action with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka, her character is put away then brought back in Rebels.
Yeah, and I've got to watch the last season of Clone Wars also because I haven't seen that either. So
that's easy. It's actually good, so it won't be hard.
Yeah. I just have to actually do it.
But no, seeing those whales, it made me happy because it was like a big reference to what's coming. I think it's kind of what they were trying to say in a little way. Plus, it made it live action in its own way, so that was cool. But episode 2, it goes back to Tatooine, which you get that random Pelimoto, whatever the hell that character is.
Yeah.
I think that's her name.
Yeah, Pelimoto, Madi.
I was like, okay. I mean, I liked and didn't like the fact that he goes and he gets R5 from the first movie.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like the?
Oh, it's R5.
It's supposed to be the.
Yeah, the red one from New Hope that breaks down on purpose because he knew R2-D2's mission.
No, that is not true. That is not true. That is some stupid shit someone made up after the fact. That is not true. God, that is the dumbest thing in the world. Who did that? Who did that? Is that actually canon?
It sounds like Legends canon to me. I feel like that was Legends. So.
It sounds like bad fan fiction. Really bad. That is just stupid.
I mean, it was kind of cool because again, they make sure it's the same R5 because later on there's a reference like, oh, we served during the rebellion. So
wait, what?
The rebel pilot guy, when he goes to the Mandalorians later in the season, he makes a comment. He's like, I served with someone in your ranks during the rebellion.
And yeah, but that doesn't mean it's the R5 from.
No, but I'm pretty sure that's what someone told me. Let me see what
that's the official line, at least.
Yeah, that doesn't make. So the thing is, it being an R5 unit is all the callback you need. Why on earth does it need to be the R5 unit that the Jawas tried to sell to Owen?
Everything must tie into each other.
That's dumb. That makes me angry. That makes me legitimately angry because then why would that R5 unit have been in the rebellion? What about being sold by some Jawas means that it was in the rebellion? That's just it being an R5 unit was great. And the pilot being like, I served with him in the rebellion was great because it humanizes the droid and it gives him a little bit of a backstory. But making it that R5 unit is just stupid.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great.
I posted in the chat what the Wikipedia said. Astromech droid originally sold to Owen Lars and Tatooine in New Hope, which immediately malfunctioned and replaced by R2-D2. The droid is currently owned by Din Djarin in hopes of exploring Mandalore.
The bit about purposely blowing up his motivator to help R2-D2 was from the collectible card game. Star Wars.
Okay. So no longer canon.
All right, so that's not canon. All right, good. Oh my God.
What is canon is though that he's still around, 10 years later and helping out the rebels.
I mean, I'm kind of with. I mean, I did laugh at it, but I'm kind of with Kerry too. Like, why? I mean, this is a giant galaxy. Why couldn't it just been some just droid? Like, why have it to be that droid?
That's the problem with Star Wars. That's the problem with a lot of new properties in Star Wars. Everything must tie into something old.
I mean, it kind of can make sense. At least it's the same planet. But the rebellion part kind of got me because when he says that later on, he's like, "Oh, one of you is part of I worked with during the rebellion." I thought for sure they were referencing Sabine, which is from Rebels, who is a Mandalorian, who was who's part of the rebellion. I thought for sure that's where they were going, and it turns out nope, they're talking about R5, and that kind of bugged me because Sabine would have made sense because she's a Mandalorian. She joins the rebellion, not exactly, kind of happens, and would have made sense. And she's gonna be in live action real soon.
I actually the other day I was going through some stuff and I found this set of Star Wars action figures I was going to get my son, but he doesn't really like that stuff anymore. So I took some of them and put them on my desk, and one of them is an R5 unit, is sitting right here next to me. But I don't think it's R5D4. It has this little triangle pattern mouth looking thing on it. I don't even know how to explain it. On the head, underneath the 3 little eyes, it has this row of 8 triangles, green triangles, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a special character or what. It was in a bounty. It was in a pack of bounty hunters that included that Trandoshian guy from Empire and IG-88 and Boba Fett and Jango Fett. So I don't know. I don't know if it's an R5 bounty hunter.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they make enough freaking. Yeah, there's a lot of droid bounty hunters in the comics.
It is R5. I just looked it up. It's R5P8.
Fair enough.
And I'm trying to think, episode 2. I mean, because they made this go a lot faster than I thought it would. I thought, okay, it's gonna be a whole season thing, like I kind of said earlier. And then he gets R5. He gives up on trying to get IG-11 working pretty quickly because they can't do what he wants, and he goes right to the mines.
Yeah, I was surprised they went there pretty quickly. I thought it'd be at least another episode before they got into lore.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
I was also very confused with the mines. He gets there, and then it isn't that long before he gets captured by that. Whatever the hell that creature was, that cyborg thing.
Cyborg spider.
Yeah. Okay. Which I liked. That was at least that was kind of
cool.
I don't know how to describe it. Like a non-Star Wars design. It's kind of like I don't know, kind of like a surreal. I don't know.
Yeah. I just didn't.
I kind of got a Jim Henson type vibe, like the Dark Crystal or something. I don't know.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
It kind of did have it was just weird to me because and I did kind of laugh later on. It looked like it was trying to cook him, but I guess it was draining his blood or something for some reason.
It was. Yeah. It was unusual for a Star Wars thing because it was pretty spooky.
Yeah, spooky. I was gonna say it's scary.
Yeah. I mean, again, it surprised me that where they were going with it, like the whole idea of having that creature capture him so that it defeated him, so then Bo-Katan could come and save him.
Right.
So then that way she can possess the Darksaber.
Yeah.
It really didn't have anything to do. There was no greater purpose to the cyborg, as far as I know, or the the other creatures that are living there on Mandalore.
Just things for her to kill.
Yeah, mutants or whatever they are.
Yeah, I wasn't clear what the living things are like the natives to the planet.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The other thing interesting with Mandalore is that the Great Purge, they talk about it a lot. It happens, I think it's about 20 years, or it's about 19 years before. Or no, is it shorter than that? I can't remember exactly when it happens. I was looking at it, but I feel like it was. Damn it! I lost my. I feel like it happened sometime before Yavin.
Yeah, I was gonna say it happens. I thought it happens right after the Order 66, really close after that. I'm not sure though. But
yeah, I don't know exactly. The internet will tell us.
It says never been stated. It was during the Imperial era after the Mandalorian Civil War.
Understand.
When you search Great Purge, something else came up that was part of real history in the 1930s. But
yeah.
Because when did the Great Purge happen? 1930. I'm like, oh, that's not the one I'm looking for.
Nope.
But it was cool that we get more context of what happened where Bo-Katan surrendered to Moff Gideon, and then he destroyed the planet anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I don't think they said that in the second episode, did they?
No, they say it later, but it was cool that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we have Mandalore I thought we had Mandalore in the Rebels. Maybe it's just the Clone Wars that I'm thinking of that has Mandalore.
I know there's at least one or two. I think it's a multi-episode arc in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Where they introduced Bo-Katan in the first place.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool to see that the planet like still existed and the whole idea, like, oh, it's cursed and we can't go here. Then they're like, yep. Yeah. I mean, that's part of like what leads him here is he buys something from Jawas that apparently had something to do with Mandalore. The planet wasn't destroyed, I guess. That people had went down there since the bombing.
Oh yeah.
But it's also cool that Moff Gideon is involved so much with that.
Mm-hmm. He has a base down there. I mean,
I did like that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted a year. I think someone told me of like 19 BBY I saw once, which is right around the time of Order 66. But
well, it's fine. So we were on the second episode. So she saves his life from that, and then she saves him again when he falls in the water.
Right.
I kind of laughed at that part.
Yeah. He
just walks. I thought something grabbed him for sure. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do a Dago. No, not what the hell? What the hell? Are those creatures that you didn't like, Peter, in Dark Forces?
The Dianoga.
Yes, that's what I thought for sure. It was
the Dianoga. Isn't that the thing that is in the trash compactor?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was expecting a Dianoga, not just that he didn't watch his first step.
Yeah.
It was
a very Dark Souls moment for people that play Dark Souls. That's the thing. And
that's fair.
In those games is when you go in the water, there'll just all of a sudden be a drop off that's instant death, and you have to like tilt the camera up so you can see when the water gets dark. It's very annoying. It's a thing throughout the entire series.
I know what you're talking about. That's happened to me before. So
yeah, it's happened to everyone. Every time you fight the Hydra, first time you fight the Hydra, you fall off.
Yep, if you go too far, it's trying to run away from it. Yes. Oh, I need to replay Dark Souls.
Definitely. So then, episode 3, they go back to the Mandalorian convert.
Oh, but one last thing in 2, where she sees the mythosaur underwater.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right.
Is that? I mean, that. Yeah, I did like that. I'm wondering if that's going to go anywhere else later. But it was cool. There's some like, giant dragon just sleeping underwater, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know where it could go really, but it was cool.
Have Mandalorian riding it into battles at some point.
Yeah, have him ride it into the battle.
Maybe Boba Fett will show up. He can ride that too instead of just a Rancor, huh?
There you go.
Yeah, that'll be Boba Fett season 2. Okay.
Which I don't think we're ever getting at this point.
No.
It's a strange idea that's over with.
But so yeah, episode 3 they go. Episode 3 was one of my favorite episodes of the season because most of it was not having anything to do with the Mandalorian.
Right. It's a bit of Andor in this show, and I'm sure
it was very Andor. Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional because it must have been produced before then, but it had that hint of this is how the Republic works now, which is very good. And
it's like it's good, but you can also see why people would like have issues with it.
Right.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
The idea of a Imperial rehabilitation program is very intriguing. And I don't think outside of the old EU books has never really been talked about. I don't think.
Yeah, not as far as I know. Yeah.
Right. I think in the old EU they talked about a little bit with like what to do with all these people who used to be Imperials, but this is the first time you really see it.
I mean, in the old EU, eventually Admiral Dela becomes the commander of like all military forces in the Republic. So
right. Yeah.
It's the ultimate rehab.
There's a little bit more nuance to that. And I like that it brought in, a complicated thing because you have to do something with all these, military people who are, around and who surrendered. And I thought
it was very cool.
Yeah, I liked it too.
And we got a good look at Coruscant, like on the ground. I mean, not actual ground, but the figurative ground.
You did see some ground. You saw the tip of a mountain.
Oh yeah, I know. That was so cool. I love that. I love that idea.
Me too.
Yeah, that was like world building that you didn't need, but you just had it as a nice added flair, a nice added touch to the show.
Yeah, it was great, and I really like Elia Kane.
Oh, was that the actor?
No, that's the name of the character. I don't remember the actress name. I don't know the actress name. I think she's a stunt woman. I don't remember.
Okay, but no, it was kind of nice having an episode that was just different, but it also in the same time connected because it's all about Dr. Pershing, which is the doctor that had Baby Yoda in the first season.
Right.
So I mean, it was nice. Like it worked well, and I really enjoyed seeing Coruscant. I enjoyed getting that story that's like, this is what we're doing with the people, and we're just trying to reinitiate them into society, and it all just makes sense.
Yeah, it made sense. It was less jarring than, say, Book of Boba Fett's sudden turn to another topic, which didn't even acknowledge Boba Fett's story. Whereas this ties in, at least, to the Mandalorian, the show.
Well, and it all worked really well. I mean, it made you I was really curious where this was going to go. And that was also one of people's complaints, too, I saw on YouTube. people bitching about like this random boring episode. Like this is really good world building.
No, there's a lot of tension. There wasn't as much action, but there was a lot of tension, and you didn't know where it was going. So yeah, I don't know what to complain.
I loved it. I loved it. It was. I think it really probably is my favorite episode of the season, honestly, because Andor is so good, and it just felt like you said, Andor. By the way, the actress is Katie O'Brien, and she's not a stunt woman, but she is a martial art. She's a martial arts expert, and actually has like her main profession as a martial arts instructor.
This episode also gives you a lot too. It shows you that like she. You see the camp that they go, where the people are going to, like these apartments. I should say not camp, apartments where they're staying at, and how they all go by different numbers, and like he's given a job, but he's not given a job that lets him fulfill what he wants to do.
Right.
And how he's manipulated.
His potential at all. Like, in fact, his job is like very menial data entry.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, it's funny because they have that, but they live in a universe where they have droids.
Right.
And it kind of seems like any kind of menial like job like that would be done by droids. But in Star Wars, we have all sorts of like menial labor not being done by droids.
Maybe it's like our current life, where the AI makes art and we do menial labor.
Yeah.
So,
it's a much more less equal society than say like the Star Trek universe, where you wouldn't have menial jobs like this really, unless you really wanted to. But they have those in Star Trek when they need them for the plot. I mean, yes,
like that episode of Voyager where it turns out in like the 6th season, there's this guy who lives in the bottom of the ship because his job is to monitor the deflector dish, and he doesn't interact with anyone. That's the reason you've never seen him on the show, is because he doesn't interact with anyone because he lives in the bottom of the ship working on the deflector dish. Yep, I'm sorry. That was a deep cut for my.
That was a deep cut. You also referenced the worst Star Trek series.
No, oh God!
I beg to differ.
You have to be joking.
I don't like Voyager.
In a world where Enterprise exists, you're going to call Voyager the worst Star Trek.
Enterprise is great. Oh, I will die on that hill.
Oh boy,
Enterprise
is getting controversial.
I really actually like Enterprise. Like, I think it's a great show.
I haven't seen all of it. I'll give you that.
Well, remember, Mike did say Rise of Skywalker. What is that? His third favorite Star Wars movie?
When I saw it in theaters, I cried tears of happiness, and I was like, "Wow, this is so good." I haven't seen it since.
We'll discuss. Yeah, we'll discuss
later this year. We're covering it.
I'll say I like Voyager, but it's my least favorite of the Star Trek that I like. But no, anyway, but it's fine. Yeah, I know. I like the idea. It was very it felt very real. Just everything in episode 3 felt like very, very real.
Right.
Like, this is the way it would actually be. This is how things would actually go.
And then
like, even like when they go to like the speech, he goes to the speech being given by the former scientist, Imperial scientist.
That
and
was
it's
really
like,
cool too.
Yeah. So it wasn't, I'm trying to remember who did the person that was speaking.
Dr. Pershing.
Oh, it was Dr. Pershing.
It's Dr. Pershing. And then there's a part where he's talking to whatever, Mon Calamari's. And the guy's like, New Republic Empire, it's all the same. Like, you can kind of get the idea these are just like delegates or just rich assholes. We're gonna
rich assholes are rich assholes no matter who's in charge.
They don't give a shit. They're like, whatever, we don't care.
That felt incredibly real. Yes,
it did.
I was like, that's exactly it. Like, that there were like wealthy, the wealthy billionaire class was not affected at all by the Empire. They were fine with the Empire. They didn't complain about it. Any of that shit, they didn't.
And it was cool to see. Like, this episode gives you so much. Like, seeing them have to, like, when they try to escape to get to the old ships to get his lab so he can and he's just trying to do good for the New Republic, and he's being manipulated
by continuing his Nazi science.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he very much made me think of that. It was just very clearly like, oh, this is like well, I was a scientist for the Nazis, but I was doing good work. I mean, I know they were the bad guys. I get that. But I mean, I was doing good work, That's how
it's
fair. Better with my, like controversial genetic engineering cloning.
When he gets captured near the end and they just ignore that she's there. I really like that.
Yeah. And
he's like, wait a second, what's going on here? And he realized that it was all fake.
They put him in like the brain reprogrammer thing.
From Rogue One.
And she turns it up to 11.
So I'm assuming he's dead.
Yeah.
Or he's dead. His mind is gone or something.
Yeah, we're not gonna I feel like we're not gonna see him again.
No, I don't think we're.
But it was cool. I got a kick out of it. I was like, okay, this was just a really good episode. And then what is the next one? Which one opens up with the kid? That was the first one, wasn't it? That opens up with the kid, the random kid. Yep.
But they come back to that in the 4th episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they go back to the planet, and this is
Goku wins a training match, and I have to say, it doesn't look good. They're clearly just throwing this puppet in the air. It's not good, but it's fine. But it's not good.
No, this episode was okay. This is the one where he gets captured. Oh yeah, this is the whole thing with the raptor, where the kid gets captured by a big bird.
I like the episode. I just thought the stuff with Grogu like leaping around, where it really reminds me of like on Sesame Street when Grover would do stuff on Sesame Street. It doesn't look good. Don't do it. Like Grogu doesn't need to be in action scenes.
No.
Other than using the Force, to like move things or controlling his assassin droid or whatever it is.
Yes.
No. But no, I thought it was a good episode. I liked Bo-Katan, becoming the hero and gaining the respect of what's his name?
Well, Paz Vizsla or Vaz. I think his name.
I do not remember their names.
The
heavy gunner,
big heavy gunner guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I drew him after season 1. When he showed up in season 1, I did a drawing of him. I was like, I really like this. Like up on the wall somewhere.
He's also related to one of the villains in Clone Wars.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just a person. He's just a character in the show. He doesn't have to be related.
That Vizsla, his name is the same last name.
Damn it.
Can't people have the same
I also liked Grogu he has the flashback to when he's
that's
rescued.
This episode?
That's in season 4. That's in episode 4, yeah.
Okay. There's a version of this that I found online where someone takes the scene and puts
holding out for a hero.
And it's perfect.
Yes, it was. It was exactly what I thought about. I was just like, it's holding out for a hero. I love that video.
When I watched the real version, I'm like, this needs the song. It wasn't the same without the song.
Yeah.
It's a good scene.
It
was very cool.
Or something,
But after I saw the fan take where they put that I need a hero in the background, I'm like, damn it, it's not. I want the real episode to have that, even though as stupid as it would be and jarring, it'd be great.
Yeah, and it was he was played by Ahmed Best, who is Jar Jar Binks.
That was awesome when I saw that.
Yeah,
really
good for him. Yeah, that was Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar saved Grogu.
You know what? I should have known that. I should have figured that out. But now I see it.
I only know it because of Facebook and the internet told me. But
I must have missed that.
I do like the fact that we get to see how he escaped and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was very cool.
It was just a really good scene too. Like you see all these different Jedi's trying to help him, and they all just keep getting murdered one by one.
Yeah.
Until Ahmed just picks up and the way you first see him just picks up somebody's lightsaber from another Jedi that got killed. Oh, that was great. And then the ship he gets on is a Naboo Star Cruiser. Well, I think
it was. He was rescued by the Naboo armed forces.
I felt bad for them because they're all dead. You're like, oh, they're fucked.
Oh, are they? Is that happen in Rebels?
No, but I mean, just in that part when you see them get on the ship, those clone troopers aren't going to stop shooting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm like, oh, they're all dead. No, I don't know. I don't think Naboo was ever mentioned in Rebels or anything.
I'm curious what happened with Naboo.
I wouldn't be surprised if Palpatine just destroyed it just because.
Yeah.
No, Palpatine has his vacation home. That's where he visits his childhood home, and his mom is there. She's like 200 years old. He's like, Mom, I'm the Emperor. I want to get rid of my toys.
She keeps trying to get him she keeps serving him traditional Naboo food. You need to eat more. You don't eat enough.
Mom.
Look what they did to me, Mom.
I'm trying to run the Empire here. That's something Robot Chicken would do, but
yes, it is. But no, it was just cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked it up. It was the priority target of Operation Cinder, a protocol that the Emperor put through to destroy Imperial worlds.
It's number 1 on his list. All right, first thing we're gonna do is destroy Naboo. Why? Don't ask.
My mother lives there.
Yeah.
But it was it ended up being saved.
Oh, it did? Oh, when you're the target of Operation Cinder, you just assume that something bad happens, but
yeah. It was supposed to be, but it was saved by Bail Organa and Queen Sosha. and spared from ruin and went on to become a member of the successor state to the Alliance, the New Republic. Decades later, the planet would again fight against tyranny, rising up against the military junta of the First Order during its war with Organa's resistance. I don't know where all of this is this information is coming from, but
I got nothing.
it looks like a lot of it is in the Lego Star Wars adventures.
Yeah, I don't know what would have talked about it. Like, I don't think it was mentioned in any of the old EU. That was post prequel stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm looking at all the. I'm looking at non-canon. Okay, no, it's all in. It looks like comic. The High Republic.
okay, that makes sense.
Oh, the High Republic novels. Okay, so it's not comics. It's novels
Never read
they are canon.
Okay, that's
Okay.
cool though.
They're public. They're like in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're not that. I've seen them at Walmart when I go there.
It's 2022. Oh, some new stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll read these.
But yeah, just seeing Ahmed Best, like, it was just so cool. And I guess they were talking about having him back again and having more flashbacks or something. Or maybe
Yeah,
just having
that
him
would be cool.
survive.
That would be cool.
Because
Yeah.
apparently, all the Jedi survived somehow. There was a lot of survived, even though, like,
I
Vader
would
fought-
not. I think it'd be best if he's dead, but like some more flashbacks of Grogu could be good. Or I mean, probably one more in season.
Yeah, I mean,
4.
because you could do a little bit more because you know, in the end, you see them fly off and leave Coruscant, but you don't know what happened.
Yeah. Does the Jedi survive, or does he get Grogu on the ship and then stay behind? I don't remember.
He gets on the ship and flies him out.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. So then, yeah, we could definitely see him show up again in season 4. Or heck, he may be in Ahsoka. He may have survived and be in the Ahsoka series. Or maybe in flashbacks in the Ahsoka series. There's so much they can do, really, honestly.
Yeah, and there's going to be more stuff with it. But also in this episode, this is when you have them, after they go get the Raptors. I kind of laugh when you have the whole part when they go and bring back the Raptors kids.
Okay.
Yeah. That was
I'm pretty sure that's food. I'm pretty sure those little guys got cooked.
Yeah. I was saying they did not look like they would fit inside her ship either.
No.
And they did. I was like, man, that ship is bigger than it looks.
Because like later on when they have the big like barbecue, I swear that's what's on the grill.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm like, no, not little birdies. I don't cook them. Oh no, I just thought like, oh, I brought you some foundlings. It should have been like, here, I brought you breakfast. So I want to see them get trained, like, you know, they get flying mounts, not food, but who knows?
Yeah. So then go ahead.
Episode 5 is the whole pirate one.
Yeah, it brings us back to we get the pirate again. We get to go back to Navarro,
and you get another cameo in the bar when you have the New Republic officer who Grief Karga is trying to enlist for help. The random alien that he talks to in the bar he's also from Rebels.
Okay.
I mean, he serves no purpose in this episode other than to be there just to be like, oh look, he's live action. He survived. He's one of the Rebels.
So is this the episode where with the Imperial pilot, X-Wing pilot comes back, or is that the next one?
No, that's this one. Let me double check. Yeah, because Karga's asking for help, and then I think this is
Colonel Tuttle. Colonel Tuttle's the one that's like indifferent to it. Like he's the one who's like, we don't have time for that. You should have joined the Republic.
Yeah.
Oh, he's played by
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows, yes, from Saturday Night Live. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, he was great. He was great. It's just like sorry, nothing we can do. You know, this is how it is.
Right. Yeah.
That was perfect casting.
This whole season is very much like, there's an actor who wants to be in Star Wars, and he's a famous comedian, and let's get him into the show because there are more actors coming up who are definitely like, I want to be in Star Wars.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I mean, if I was an actor, I would want to be in Star Wars.
I would be in Star Wars for free. Yeah.
Right. I don't care what I'd play, but
it's like how in Force Awakens, like a bunch of random famous actors were stormtroopers.
Right.
Like Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. And,
I think Prince Harry was in.
Kevin Smith, Prince Harry. Yeah.
I mean, I would be too. So I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Tim Meadows was great casting for that position, and again, felt very real. Teva, that's Carson Teva's who I'm thinking of.
Because you have him going. This is when he ends up then leads to get the Mandalorians and tells them like Grief Karga needs help.
Yeah, and when he shows up to the covert, and it's like, oh, you're gonna get shot. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, they're ready to kill him.
Yeah, I like that character a lot. I like that actor. I don't know the actor in anything else, but enjoyed him. Older Asian man. I don't know what he's famous, but I don't know who he is. He's not that famous, but
I'm not sure what his name is.
His name is Paul Sung-Hain, Canadian actor and television host. He's best known for his roles as Randy Coe in the soap opera Train 48 and as family patriarch Appa in the play Kim's Convenience.
Oh, okay. I've seen it.
That'd mean nothing to me, but
okay. No, I haven't really watched that, but I know who it is.
Oh, okay. He's been on a lot of different TV shows.
Yeah, I like him, but I like him a lot. He's very affable. I just like the whole thing. I like there's like a little like the air base, the little like remote air base where like the pilots and they have like the little officers bar they hang out in.
Right.
It felt very, I don't know. It felt real. It felt like really like a real thing.
More world building.
Yeah.
It works well.
It's good world building.
You know, and the whole idea, like seeing how the New Republic's like, yeah, we can't go help this planet. They didn't sign the, treaty. They're not part of the, of the alliance.
And it's realistic. It's not like, it's not like NATO goes around and like helps out random countries that didn't join NATO and things like that. Well, except for when they do, but still.
It's not like, well, it's not like, Burma's like, please, NATO, help us. And they're like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Does it matter? You don't matter to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're like, the Republic can't go around, helping everyone. We're just, I think, doesn't Colonel Tuttle say, like, we're just becoming, I don't know, we don't have enough resources or something. Anyway.
Yeah, we're just becoming a government, and we're still not. Like they talk about earlier how they still haven't put away the rebel fleet. They're still, they're working on decommissioning all the Imperial stuff. Like they're still trying to figure all this out.
Right.
It's good world building. It really is. It kind of just shows you also like the New Republic really doesn't have it together yet, which makes sense. I mean, it's only been I think 5 years or so, or maybe longer after Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's not very long.
Yeah. Well, it's maybe less than a decade after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, like, even after they threw the Emperor off, that wasn't the end of the war, I don't think.
Well, we'll see that in the coming episode. I'll have something to say about that.
Okay. Because that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that the war is still definitely went on for a while.
In the, I don't know what the new canon is. In the old canon, there was still the Empire for at least several years afterwards, and then it devolved into warlords. And I have no idea if that's what the new canon became, but I feel
it seems like that's what happened. But when you watch the sequel movies, it's like the New Republic never existed, though.
Yeah, I will have things to say about that as well when we get there. It's very unclear what the situation is just by watching. If you have watched only the movies, so
yeah, exactly. I would rather that they just make the sequel movies non-canon. And I don't mean that because I don't hate them. I mean, I do hate Rise of Skywalker, but I like Force Awakens a lot, actually. And I like The Last Jedi to an extent, but I think that it's better for the series to be able to grow and do stuff if those don't count. Because they just, the First Order and the state of the Alliance and all that, and those just makes it feel like the original trilogy didn't matter. Honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, why did it matter that we beat the Emperor if there's just going to be the First Order instead and nothing changed, nothing got better?
That was one of my complaints too with the movies back then. I remember being like just confused. Like, I want to know more. Like, I know there's more stuff now has been explained, but in the movies, they didn't explain any of that shit.
There's a lot of stupid shit in the books that are no longer canon, but they did overall they did a good job of setting up what happened, like in general. I felt like. Yeah, where you get the New Republic, but the New Republic is also going to be dysfunctional because government is dysfunctional and it's a huge it's a gigantic, intergalactic or intragalactic government, so it makes sense that there's going to be problems and there's going to be warlords and there's going to be rural areas that aren't in control. It all made a lot of sense. And that's what Mandalorian seems to be going with.
Yeah, I do like that. It's more or less, it's very similar to that situation in The Mandalorian. Where, it's unclear. There are parts of and this episode perfectly like, well, the Republic can't be everywhere. So,
yeah.
I did like.
Legitimately, I mean, if they didn't join the Republic, then they shouldn't expect the Republic to protect them, honestly.
Right. Does the Federation help non-Federation worlds if they,
Yes.
No, like ask the Maquis.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Ask the Maquis what happens when you're outside the Federation's borders.
I hope the Federation does help planets sometimes that are outside its borders.
I mean,
depending on
the plot requires it. Yeah.
The plot requires it.
Good point.
I like this in this episode. I like the aerial battle stuff. They're starting to do in this show. I don't know what the camera movement's called, where it's like the camera is on the ship and it's following.
Yes.
That was from like Interstellar. They did that, and they did that a few times. But I like that. I like it a lot. It's a nice camera trick, so appreciated that.
Everything was good with like the ground combat too, and that was fun to see the Mandalorian just kick ass, like all of them just fight.
Unreal Engine 5, it looks great.
Yeah,
yeah. It was good. It was good stuff seeing them fight pirates.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked this whole episode.
I couldn't help but get a little. If you remember Star Fox 64 with all the different fighter pilots that are taunting the others, I got that from the Space Pirates people, and I don't think it was a criticism, but just like, oh, this is just like all those animal aliens.
Nice one, Fox.
It's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
They do have like different like animal aliens that are around, if I remember correctly.
Right.
You see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just because they had that cockpit shot where you see the person in the cockpit. It just reminded me of Star Fox.
Great. One of them was speaking Lilat speak, just.
Peter wanted somebody to go, Mando, do a barrel roll.
I mean, that would have instantly brought this to the best Star Wars property in existence.
The internet would have exploded. That would have been amazing.
It was just a fun episode. It's fun. Yeah. It was just fun to see action.
And the Mandalorian covert, now they have like official land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is also the episode when after Bo-Katan went, swimming after Mando, and then she takes off her helmet, and I like how pissed they all get, even though the armor tells her to do it, and they're like, she took off her helmet. Fucking assholes.
Yeah. Religious zealots.
Yeah. Calm down.
She's like, she walks both worlds. I still want to know more about the armor, like who she is exactly. But I guess she's just the leader of this covert.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. I mean, I like where they were going. Where they're like, okay, they're leading, like, okay, now she's going to go and get the other Mandalorians to join. So they can all work together. And episode 6 of this season, a lot of people bitch about this episode. Oh, no, before we get there, the ending of episode 5 is when you find the Imperial shuttle that was transporting Moff Gideon.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think we all knew was going to happen. I think they set it up at the very beginning to like his transport disappeared or something like that.
Yeah, they said it in episode 3. I think the one with Dr. Pershing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
and then you have the weird part where it's like, oh, there's Beskar in here. The Mandalorians, to make you think that the Mandalorians were, I guess, working with him or something.
Yeah.
Even though he destroyed their planet and killed them all, but yeah,
Okay, so episode 6. Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who I liked her episode in season 1. I can't remember which episode she did in season 2. Yeah, no, I thought this was awful.
I really like this episode.
Incredibly jarring stunt casting. Like, there's the most jarring stunt casting. Like, you've got freaking Doc Brown and Tenacious D and fucking Lizzo. Like, 3 people who could not possibly stick out. Like, who could stick out more in an episode of a Star Wars show than those 3 actors?
To be fair, I had no idea that was Lizzo or who Lizzo was during this episode. So I was like, okay.
But everyone that's plugged into pop culture knows that it was Lizzo.
Yes.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I actually like admire Lizzo as a person a lot. I don't like her music, but I really loved when she played the
flute.
James Monroe's flute. Yeah, she played James. I was trying to think which former president's flute it was. I was like, this very polarizing black woman who is a virtuoso who plays multiple instruments, playing a crystal flute owned by a famous slave owner who built this country is just wonderful poetic justice. I was like, I loved like a tweet was like, next that she like, I hope she digs up Thomas Jefferson's corpse and plays his rib cage like a xylophone. Fuck James Madison, and that's awesome. But did I say James? I think I said James Monroe a minute ago. It's James Madison.
Okay.
But anyway, they were both president. Monroe was Madison's Secretary of State.
I think it's safe to say they were almost all those people were shitheads. So.
Yes. But so I admire her as a person and all that, and her music isn't my thing, but it's not. I don't think it's bad or something. But she just freaking sticks out like a sore thumb in this. She just and Jack Black does just. Oh, yeah. And then my mind is blanking on Doc Brown.
Christopher
Lloyd. Yeah.
I just laughed when I saw it. I'm like, when he showed up.
All 3 of them. It's just like it's one of those things. It's like every actor should be able to work and get jobs. But there's just certain actors, you can't be in Star Wars. I'm sorry, no.
Wait, he was in Star Trek?
It's the same as when I said The Bad Batch, when they had Wanda Sykes voicing a character in season 2 of The Bad Batch. It's like that voice does not belong in Star Wars. It just sounds off-putting.
Yeah, I agree with you about 2 of these. I think Christopher Lloyd could be in Star Wars. However, I feel like he's wasted in this role. I don't think because he just kind of sits at the computer the whole time, and he stands up at one point, and I get that he's 80 years old, so maybe. But I feel like he could do a much better, like, I don't know what, Imperial officer or like, high priest or something. He could be in a much more interesting role in Star Wars.
Yes. I agree. And Jack Black could voice an alien, and Lizzo could voice an alien or something. But they're just too recognizable to me. All 3 of them are just way too recognizable.
Yeah, I saw Jack Black. I was like, oh my God, is this really? Am I really seeing this? I didn't think it was terrible. I don't think I had the same reaction that you did, Kerry. But at the same time, it definitely put me out of it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. It was just silly, and it was like, it sticks out in the middle of a good season. This episode just kind of sticks out like the first episode.
I think maybe because, they're intentionally funny and it's supposed to be humorous, so you automatically...
That is what it is. It was a fun little episode. I want to take it back. I actually thought it was funny, and I didn't dislike the episode. It was diverting me from the show. It was like, we have this cool show, and then we have to take a break from the cool show to have a silly episode.
Well, that's because
you don't have to have a silly episode.
Dark as hell after this, though, for the last 2. I think that's partly why they have this episode the way it is. Like, this is very much like a mystery episode, like where they're just investigating how droids are going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought it was funny. They go to the droid bar, and it's called the Resistor.
I love the droid bar just because they have. I'm sure I want to read a breakdown of where all those droids are from, because I'm sure they went all sorts of sources for those droids. I'm sure they back to like some Marvel comic from 1978 or something.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
And so I like the diversity of that bar.
I like it. I like a Star Wars bar in general.
Yeah. And there's a R2
cantina or it's Maz's place, whatever. I like a Star Wars bar.
There's also like an R2 unit in the background that looked just like R2D2. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
And it was just, just another R2 droid.
It should have been serving drinks. That would have been perfect.
Right. Yeah, that would have
little been. R2 unit with the little drink tray going around serving drinks.
I did like that we get to see battle droids are just working as just
security.
Just kind of like moving things around, and I like how Matt
the super battle droids are being used. He's just kicking them like you see people kick the Boston Dynamics dogs all the time, in the videos to show that they can like get back up. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I take it back, and I'm thinking about it now. I did like this episode. I just didn't like those 3 people in it.
Right.
It is jarring. I mean, you're not wrong to have these actors playing, not like alien characters where it's like where Star Trek, a lot of them would have big actors, but they would put them in costumes so you didn't know it was them.
Yeah.
Like,
and having Lizzo, like, want a whole Baby Yoda and stuff.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. But no, the episode itself was good, come to think of it. Yeah. Though I have to say, it was obvious from the second he stepped on screen that Christopher Lloyd was the villain.
I didn't see it coming.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's...
never mind.
I think it's... Well, I mean, it doesn't mean I just did not see it coming.
You didn't think Judge Doom was...
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, he was more Judge Doom than Doc Brown. In this.
I was convinced they'd reveal him to be a secret droid or something, but...
Oh, that would have been great. He's secretly a droid, and he hates other droids because he's a self-hating droid.
That's too nuanced, maybe, for this episode, at least.
Oh.
And I don't remember, this is the episode before this, where it has like a brief little scene of the Mandalorians being bounty hunters, where they go after the couple, the Mon Calamari and the squid lady, for a brief scene to be like, oh, I thought the Mandalorian were honorable. We are. You just got to pay us.
No.
Or something like that. Doesn't.
Yes. I think
that was all right. It was kind of interesting
I think
to see that whole scene. But this is also the end of this episode. You have the duel where Bo-Katan fights the guy that's with her in the first season. When you see the 3 Mandalorians,
Axe Woves or Axe Woves.
I thought he died.
His name's Axe.
Season, but he did not. When I rewatched.
Oh, he didn't die.
No, he's in the last scene.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I liked his arc because I thought he was going to become bad.
Same.
He didn't. It was cool. Yeah, I like their duel. I like Katie Sackhoff a lot. She's a good physical actor. She's good in fight scenes. I don't know if you watched Battlestar Galactica, but
not yet, unfortunately.
She has she does a lot of fighting in Battlestar Galactica.
I know Peter told
good.
me
She looks believable in it.
I should watch it, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere that I currently have.
Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Oh, I don't
Peacock's
have Peacock.
Peacock's $5 a month. It's insidious because it's $5 a month, and so I don't think about it. I haven't watched Peacock in like 4 months.
They're okay with that.
Yeah,
it's a really good show for most of it, and
yeah.
If you happen, sometimes you see those DVDs for bargain somewhere. So
you could just do that. I mean, literally, you could subscribe to Peacock for 2 months and watch 1 month and watch the whole series. It's not that long.
But now it's our turn to recommend you watch something, Mike. So
that's actually why I got Peacock, was to watch that show.
Oh, nice.
I know I need to. I started it once when Netflix had it a long ass time ago, and they took it off, and I never got very far.
I actually didn't finish it. I'm on the last season, and I put it down like 4 months ago and forgot about it. I need to get back to it. But it's good. But anyway, she's I would say the main character of the show. She's probably the most important of the major characters, or the one that gets the most perspective time. And she gets in a lot of brawls and that. She's good. She's very good at that kind of physical acting, I think.
She's good on it.
I think possibly also partly because she's really tall.
Oh, is she? I guess.
Yeah, I think she's really tall. She looks really. She's in She had this bad show on Netflix that I liked called Another Life. It was bad, but I appreciated it. Like, I thought it was trying interesting stuff, and she just it stands out how tall she is in that. So I was thinking but she may not be, but anyway, but yeah. So then we get the last 2 episodes, and yeah, you're right. It's dark, but it's good stuff.
I really enjoyed the last 2. When I rewatched these, I'm like, damn, this is just good. Both of them were just really good.
Yeah, I like the little cabal warlords getting together and discussing.
So this is where
the little shadow. It's literally called the Shadow Council. I was about to call it the Shadow Council, and I looked it up. That's what it's called.
Yes.
I mean, when I like a good cabal. This is where I geeked out a bit because it does bring in the old EU. It has Captain Pelion in there, who was Grand Admiral Thrawn's number 2 guy from the Timothy Zahn books.
Oh, yeah. I should have caught that.
And he's the
one who's like talking about Thrawn, I think.
Yeah. He was he's like Thrawn's number 2, and I assume he'll be in Ahsoka or whatever. But he also shows up he survives Timothy Zahn books, and he's like the lead Imperial guy for the rest of the old EU. Like, he's in charge of the remnants, and he.
I was going to say. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
In the old EU, he eventually surrenders and joins the Alliance because he's like, weird. It's the honorable thing to do. But he's somebody they brought over, so I appreciated that they brought that character back.
I like when they bring in things from the old EU a lot.
Yeah.
Because I remember Captain Pelion from isn't he kind of like a foil to Admiral Dela in the Jedi Academy trilogy?
Yeah, he's like the rational guy. Whenever they get a crazy Imperial leader, he's like the guy who's saying, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we shouldn't build another Death Star or something.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Maybe we shouldn't build a ship that can blow up suns.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
He's always the guy who does that. So that's why he survives.
It was cool.
What was that thing called? The Sun Crusher. The Sun Crusher.
There was a lot of cool stuff that Shadow Council, and there's I don't remember if that's the guy, but someone's like, Thrawn is coming, but we have to keep it quiet. I like that too a lot.
No, I don't think he's the guy. I think there's another admiral.
Is Hux.
That made me happy when they called him Hux. I'm like, because the First Empire.
I mean, it makes sense that General Hux would be like a nepo baby, basically.
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to remember who is Hux again?
Domhnall Gleeson, the
right. In the sequels.
Yeah, in the sequels.
You tried to block that out, didn't you, Kerry?
That's what I was thinking. No, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, but then you said the First Empire, and I was like, First Empire, what is that? You're talking about the First Order. I get it now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Hux is the one that's constantly just getting cucked by Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Yep.
or big time, I should say.
But I did like how I think they mentioned he's like something. I think it's Moff Gideon says, "Oh yeah, but cloning is your thing, Hux," or something about that. And I made me laugh.
I don't do that. Yeah.
You got to make that movie make more sense.
Again, they're setting up. They're finally realizing we probably should see some stuff for the sequels in here because these shows are very prequel heavy. So this season is finally like, let's introduce some stuff from the sequels.
Yeah, but I like that he claims that, but then we find out no, he's very much into that. Though we already knew that because that's why he's been going after Grogu.
Yeah, exactly.
We learned that was that season 1 where they went to the place and they found Pershing was working. It was the second. No, it's season 2, isn't it? No, it's season 1. It's the
season
second
1
episode.
when they go in the
it's
lab at the end.
It's the second Cara Dune episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
Where they have the speeder race and they go like down the side of the cliff and all that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought that whole episode was really cool.
And this is also when he gets Baby Yoda, Grogu gets the IG droid where he's able to ride in it like a little mech for 2 episodes.
Yeah. Just fun.
I love that.
That's fun.
It's fun stuff. It was silly, but it's silly fun.
Yes. No, this isn't working for me, Grogu. Yes.
They gave Grogu a new gimmick this season, and I think everybody loved it who was Grogu fans, so who's to say it was the wrong move? Yeah.
Exactly. And then
you also see that Imperial woman from earlier, according to Moff Gideon, why she's on Coruscant in a back alley.
Yeah, the one I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, the one you liked.
Yeah.
Kane.
I like that. I thought that was cool, too, when you find out, she's still working for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which we knew she was because she killed Pershing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then my I thought it was really, the Beskar stormtroopers was cool.
Oh, that whole lead up when they get down there, they're like, "It's Mandalorian." She's like, "Those aren't Mandalorians."
Yeah, that was really cool. But I like that idea. Like that makes sense because Moff Gideon is like clearly like I like the whole concept of like that he hates the Mandalorians, but he wants to be one.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yeah. It's like, I think that's like, I like that idea for his character a lot. Like, that's why he was like so like harsh on the Mandalorians. That's why he's like collecting Beskar. Now we know why he's collecting Beskar. Because I thought in season 2, it was going to turn out that his like, those like black droids of his, the Dark Trooper, is that what they're called? The black droids? Troopers. Yeah. I thought those were made out of Beskar and then Luke Skywalker chops through them like nothing. So they're obviously not made out of Beskar. But now we know what he's been doing with all that Beskar.
God, that is still one of the best freaking scenes ever.
It is. But yeah, so the Beskar enhanced stormtrooper is very cool. I love that, like flying around in little jetpacks, but they're not as good at it as the Mandalorians. And the Mandalorians are just they're outnumbered and they're having to run, but they're just beating the shit out of these stormtroopers. Like they kill so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
They are so good at it. They're just like Katie Sackhoff, like Bo-Katan is just running around just like putting her pistol into their like armpits and shooting them, putting it into the neck joints, like just massacring these stormtroopers. It's great.
Because she knows who the weaknesses are.
Yeah, it's like, that Beskar's not going to save you. Y'all have adopted the Beskar. We were born to it,
And during the Shadow Council thing, you also had the part where Moff Gideon asked for Praetorian guards, the red guys from Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Like, when I heard that part when he says that, and he's like, oh, and I need more bombers too. And I thought that I liked all that because again, it referenced the bombers and stuff that they destroyed earlier in one of the earlier episodes that Mando and Bo-Katan take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
And Praetorian guards, aren't those the red guys that are hanging out in Return of the Jedi, or are those called something else?
They're like an I guess they're a quote unquote cooler version of those. They're the sequel version of the.
So what were those just called Imperial Guards?
They were the toy called them Royal Guards. I can tell you
Royal Guards. Yeah. Royal Guards. That's what it is.
Because I had the toys.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Only the toys. Yeah.
And then, of course, in the sequels, they just upgraded them for the new generation. So that's what they were.
So now they have like chain whips and stuff,
right?
And jump around aimlessly in the background of fight scenes.
Right, exactly.
Oh God!
I mean, they tell you what the point of them is because, like, it's during this when they're like, "You're scared of being assassinated." You're scared of being assassinated, Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
So I mean, you also have the part where they find right before that you have where they find the Mandalorian that were just on like a freaking ship just traveling across the planet.
Yeah, it's like a little like skiff. It made me think of Waterworld.
Oh. Yeah.
The way the ship was like designed and dressed and everything, it made me think of that, or maybe there's something else I'm trying to think of with people that have like a little like sand skiff with like a big sail and they sail around.
Jedi?
No. There's something else, not Star Wars at all. Some other
was it
like
you think of Treasure Planet?
Yes, I think that's exactly what it is. Yes. It's Is that another Disney thing?
That's
yes,
a Disney
that's
thing.
Disney.
Oh my
There
God.
is. Yeah, there's an old timey ship, but it flies in space. Yeah, that's the.
It's another thing that Disney wants you to forget exists, I think. So
They're repurposing their back catalog for.
Yeah,
So.
Treasure Planet. All right, Treasure Planet is not what I was thinking of, but that is great.
Oh.
But yes. In fact, I'm looking at the ship from Treasure Planet, and I'm like, okay, no, I see it.
this
now
episode,
maybe his little surfboard. Yes, okay, it is Treasure Planet
oh,
because he has
good job,
a little surfboard with a sail on it. Well, windsurfing board. His little like windsurfing board. That's what it made me think of.
There you go.
it's a cool scene. I mean, it's just again
Yes.
more world building and just cool stuff to see. Like everything with them chasing after the Imperials, because after you see the armor when they're flying through, just beating the shit out of the Imperials with her hammers. That was also really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like that design, and this is also the second new trooper we've gotten in Mandalorian, or no, third new trooper we got in Mandalorian, because first we get the Flame Troopers in the first season, which I have a Funko Pop of. Then we get the Dark Troopers, and then now we get the Mandalorian, Beskar armored Imperials.
Mm-hmm.
And in Andor, we got the Shore Troopers, I think is what they were called.
Oh yeah,
we did. They were new. They were
do.
completely new for that.
In Rogue One, you're talking about, right? On Scarif.
Oh,
In Andor season 1, when he gets arrested,
Yes.
those troopers were new. They weren't.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that they should have had little shorts, little like bicycle shorts.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. I have a weird thing where I really like seeing new grunts type characters for some reason.
Every climate has.
Me too.
Trooper.
Yeah, I always loved the little. Ever since Empire Strikes Back, I've loved like a climate variation trooper.
Yeah, exactly.
And I liked it in like Jedi Out and the Jedi Knight games, like Jedi Outcast. They had when you go to that one, I think it's Dagobah maybe, where you go to Jigga, and it's not Dagobah, but it's you go to like a swampy planet, and you've got the stormtroopers with like the green detailing, and yeah, I always like a different climate trooper.
Yeah, it was just cool to me, and I'm happy that we keep getting new troopers in each season of these new shows. So,
yeah,
small thing, but it makes me happy because then I get new toys.
I enjoy it.
And that's what the point is, Mike.
No, I know that's not, and unfortunately I'm the target audience.
Yeah.
So I haven't bought a Dark Trooper yet. I never bought a Funko Pop Dark Trooper, but I do go to a lot of toy swap, and there's usually people selling. Like I went to a toy swap around May the 4th, and God, there were a ton. Obviously, everyone had a Star Wars table set up, so I was like looking at all this. I was geeking out at all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I have a deep aversion to Funko Pops, because otherwise I would spend a lot of money on them.
You're a lucky bastard. You just don't know it. I'm looking. I have at some point once I actually display all mine, I'll send you a video and you'll be surprised.
Yeah, that plus a very thrifty wife that makes me feel guilty for buying just like a ton of toys, and then also a 3D printer that makes me feel like, I could just print that, and then I don't. So I'm able to
You can print
resist
your own Funko Pops.
my base urges.
With more dead eyes to stare at you.
Oh yeah, I could definitely do that.
I actually have a Cassian Andor Funko Pop. Actually, to the left of me, I'm looking at right now.
That's nice. It's just looking at you with his sharp
dead eyes, yes.
His doll's eyes.
By the way, I hate dolls. Like my wife had at one point when we were moving stuff, she had it in storage, a really old doll, and it just I was like, nope.
Like that episode of Seinfeld.
I need to watch Seinfeld one day.
Oh God, yeah. There's an episode of Seinfeld where George's fiance moves in, and she has a doll collection with like this creepy doll that looks exactly like his mom. And he starts hearing her voice coming from
old dolls. Just scare me. I do not like them. They make me uneasy. I got nothing else. But so, the way this episode ends is like having them where they walk into a trap essentially.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
They walk into an obvious trap, and it's like they were running, and I was like, they're going to be running right into a trap, aren't they? And then, right into a trap.
I was surprised that then Moff Gideon shows up, but I like how the fact that he's
in his Beskar armor, his
the Dark Troopers were missing one important thing: me.
Yeah. Yes. And they capture Jin, and then Paz Vizsla dies, but he dies heroically. Yeah. No, I mean you need to have stakes. It's fine.
Yeah. And he beat the shit out of a lot of them before they killed him.
He did, man.
And I was just thinking to myself, maybe if a couple more of them would have went through the door, they would have been fine, because you just needed him to take them all out. I like how his gun overheats, and you just see it get all red, and he just throws it, and he starts killing people with a knife instead too. It was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's some badass fighting in this.
And then
I just noticed something, by the way. I was looking up Taz Vizsla, who plays him. The guy that plays him is a UFC fighter.
Oh.
And so I used to be in UFC. I've really fallen off of it because I don't want to support Dana White and his like Trump supporting ass. But I used to be into it, and I used to watch the TV series, The Ultimate Fighter, and my favorite season of that was season 3, and that's the season he was on. So his name's Tate Fletcher.
He does a good job, though. I mean, he acts just fine in this, and he did a good job. Like, it's just such a cool ass scene, and again, you get to see something we haven't seen in Star Wars in a while. You see Bo-Katan cut through the door with a darksaber, and I think even memes that were going around like Qui-Gon would be proud, because you don't see that very often where someone cuts through a door like they should be with a lightsaber.
Like a couple times in Star Wars.
Yeah,
you think it'd be a lot more often. Like, oh, there's a locked door. Okay, we'll just use the giant blade we have and just
cut through anything. Yeah.
Nah, and the Praetorian Guards are so cool in this when they beat the shit out of Viz. Like, I really like that.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And they get their ass handed to them next episode by a little green guy. But just the way that they show up, too, where they just kind of come out of the background and they just walk up to them with their glowing purple weapons, and I was like, this is like, I'm like, all right. Because that was the best thing from what I remember of The Last Jedi, is that one scene with those guards in it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no. But I hate that scene so much. This one.
Oh, you do?
Are you talking about where the fight scene?
Yeah, with Snoke.
Yeah, I mean, I like Snoke dying, but then the fight scene is just terribly choreographed. It's like a CW fight scene.
Oh, I've only seen it once.
So the Corridor crew did a breakdown of it on the Stuntmen React, and it's really bad if you watch it, because I was talking about it a minute ago. The Praetorian Guards, there's this thing that happens in really bad fight choreography where people don't have anything to do, and so they're standing in the background waiting for it to be their turn to fight the hero, instead of doing what they would legitimately do, which is swarm the hero. And so directors will tell them, "Oh, you need to do something," and so they'll just like jump around and wave their arms. And if you're focused on the action, you don't notice it. But if you notice it, you can't unnotice it. And there's like, during that fight scene, there's like 3 Praetorian Guards just jumping around in the background, like waving their arms around like monkeys. They're like jumping, and like one of them like acts like he gets hit and like goes flying and lands on the ground and stuff, but he's nowhere near where anyone's fighting. It's really bad. So okay. No, I'm not a fan.
I can't wait till we cover the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great. Later this year, we're getting to those. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember it very well. I saw it in theaters once. I tried watching it one other time, but I've never gotten through besides the one time.
I think I watched it one time. I saw it in the theater on opening weekend, and then I think I've watched it once streaming with my son.
It'll be an interesting time when we get to those movies.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen it twice too, but my opinion is different. So
okay,
we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
But it's just, I like more world building for the sequel stuff, and it just feels like they're trying to make it so people who watch the different Star Wars stuff will enjoy the sequels more.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, there'll be references. Because again, for a lot of people, I bet you Mandalorian is their first experience into Star Wars, as then they go from there and watch everything else.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely know. I know people who that's all the only Star Wars they've seen is The Mandalorian. They exist. I don't know how they exist, but they exist. I actually know exactly how, because I teach teenagers, and most of them could not possibly give a shit about Star Wars.
Oh man.
It's kind of crazy. Like, some of them are really into it. Some are really. I have students that wear Star Wars shirts all the time and stuff. But like a lot of them, like they'll tell me like, "Oh, I've never seen Star Wars," but they know who Baby Yoda is. So, because my room is decked out with Star Wars stuff. My classroom is. So
nice.
I've got 38 Star Wars posters in my classroom currently. Plus, I've got a 3-foot tall Darth Vader statue that a student gave me, and it's not a stat. It's like a toy you got at Walmart.
Wait, do you teach history again? Was it history?
I do. Yes.
Okay, there we go. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Now I've got some of my students gave me some like Star Wars World War II stuff where they like photoshopped historic Star Wars stuff into historical photographs of World War II. They're pretty cool looking. Like,
sounds cool.
Yeah, like Soviet anti-tank guys like fighting AT-AT, and yeah, it's pretty cool. P-51 Mustang dogfighting with a TIE fighter. It's cool.
But I feel like that's kind of what they're going for here. Is that they're, getting Star Wars to be, for people to make these movies make more sense and have more connections to them, which I'm fine with. Like, it needs that.
I think really what they're doing is a lot of this is just like reference. Look, here's a reference. And the references have mostly been for us, for old people, but they're throwing in some references for the younger people too.
Right. Yeah.
Not young, but younger people. The people that were they were young enough to like the sequels. So people that were like, teenagers when the sequels came out. Yeah. Yeah. They were very popular. I think didn't Force Awakens break Titanic's record or something like that?
Hey, Force Awakens is great.
I love Force Awakens. I mean, I think it's
after you leave Force Awakens, you just find shit, and so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely look back at Force Awakens and be like, blah blah blah. But I think it's a fun movie. Yeah,
we'll be soon later this year. I can't wait.
Yeah, but anyway, my point is I don't think they're there. I don't think they're really trying to build anything so much as they're just trying to throw some Easter eggs at the younger folk to get them go, ooh, those are those things. But maybe.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then that brings us to the last episode of the season, episode 8, which I remember after I watched 7, I was like, oh, I cannot wait to see where this goes.
Yeah.
And it didn't, I enjoyed it. Like, you have the fact that
I loved it.
Moff Gideon is sending off his bombers and TIE fighters to go blow up what's left of the Mandalorian fleet. You have Axe Wolf somehow is able to use his Mandalorian suit and fly all the way up to the ship, but okay, whatever.
I thought that's cool. I mean, I was fine with that, and I thought it was cool that he became the hero. I was worried he was going to turn, and instead he stayed with the ship and fought and somehow survived, which is fine. I thought it would have been better if he had died in the process, but that's cool. And
same. We
got Grogu gets to use his suit, his little mech, and helps Din Djarin escape. We get one of my favorite things is when they find all the tanks of Moff Gideon clones and they destroy them. Because I was like, oh, y'all got to destroy those, right? Like, don't just walk out of this room. And then they didn't. They destroyed them. It was like, oh, that's awesome.
Great. That was awesome.
Good.
Yeah, and then you get to see Grogu, because Grogu's the one that saves Mando essentially, because he's fighting Moff Gideon, and then Grogu ends up getting the Praetorian Guard to go after him, and they destroyed his mech.
Yeah,
I did find it kind of funny that Grogu was able to pretty much him and Mando take out the 3 Praetorian Guards.
They do. Yep.
It was good,
and the Darksaber is destroyed, which I think is good. It's good.
And you also have, which is nice to see it. I mean, it's gone now, and I'm okay.
Yeah, they can put it away. It's gone. We don't need it to come back.
Yeah, we don't need Gideon to come back either.
I'm assuming he's dead.
I'm assuming as well.
I think he'll come back.
I hope not. I hope they just put away his character and they've done enough with him.
I feel the same way, but I think that people love Giancarlo Esposito too much. We know that because he dies when he died in
Breaking Bad,
and it's such a definitive death. It's like, oh yeah, no, he's dead. And then they do a prequel series and they're like, all right, so we're going to make him one of the main characters of the show.
Right.
It's because everyone loves Giancarlo Esposito, because how can you not? He's just got so much gravitas. He is so good as a smirking and then very angry villain, cold, smirking to cold in a millisecond. He's great. So no, I think they'll bring him back. I think near the end of season 4, it'll turn out that he's actually alive, and then he'll be in the movie. He'll be the main antagonist.
I mean, you technically don't. He is wearing the armor, and his helmet is wearing the armor when the fire hits.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I would not be surprised the least if they do that. So I wouldn't be like, well, it's out of left field. I would know why they would do that.
Exactly. Yeah. I really liked that when Grogu creates the dome of force and protects him from the blast. That was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was. And then they crashed the ship into the base, the ship that they were using, the Imperial ship that they had. I like that. Yeah. I thought that was cool. Cool. It makes it look like Axe died, but when I rewatched it, you see that he does jump off the last second, and then he's in the last scene when they're all behind around the forge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they did have him survive. That's
fine. I mean, that means he can pop up later.
And one of the women that you see as the Mandalorians on the side that takes off their helmet, I know she's a wrestler. She was in the first season when they brought her back.
Yeah, it's Mercedes Vernano.
Yeah, the only reason I know who she is because she dressed up as Sailor Moon for a Royal Rumble, and people were posting on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I'm a big Sailor Moon fan, so I was happy.
No, yeah, I love Sailor Moon.
So that's why. But no, I agree with you guys that I hope he doesn't come back, but I'm worried that he's going to. But I really hope they put away the character. I mean, they say he's dead and the Darksaber's destroyed, so but just don't bring him back.
Yeah, either way, it's whatever. It's fine.
But I mean, there could have been clones that they didn't destroy.
Yeah, there's that too. But no, I hope. Yeah, but anyway, and then at the end, we get they restart the Great Forge, and Din Djarin officially adopts Grogu as his son, which is cool.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
like, he can't say the word, so he can't put on the helmet. I'm like, don't put the helmet on him anyway. I'm tired of this.
They're not going to
shit.
put a helmet on Baby Yoda until they're ready to be done with it. He'll put on the helmet at the end of the movie for the climax,
and he'll say his first word or something.
Yeah,
I got a bad feeling
call
about
Din
this.
Djarin Dad or something.
Or will he say, "From my point of view, you are my father"?
You're not with me, you're my enemy.
You're like, I don't want to go to Tatooine. I hate sand.
There you go. I think we've written the end of the first movie.
Have him voiced by Hayden Christensen.
I forget what when I was watching Return of the Jedi, there was a thing where Luke says, "From my point of view," or someone said it. I thought it was Luke, but I remember seeing that, or maybe even Vader even said that, and I was just like, "Yep, there we go." That's why we have it in Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan says, that he told him the truth from a certain point of view.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah,
that's a Return of the Jedi,
which is
from a certain point of view.
Famous.
Which is way better than, "From my point of view, the Jedi are bad."
Well,
evil.
Yeah.
Evil. The Jedi are evil.
Yes. And from some people's point of view, there's good guys on both sides. So, hey, you can't always trust the point of view.
And then we get IG-11 as the new Marshal of Navarro. I thought that was cool. And everyone's happy about it. Everyone's clapping. And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of dystopian a little bit to have robot police, but
a former robot assassin who's now your police officer.
Yeah, that
but it's Star Wars, I guess. You can.
It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they have robot police in New York City now, actually.
Yeah, well, that's when we talk about.
Here we come.
We watched RoboCop for the podcast, so we can talk about that.
Yeah. And then the final little shot is Grogu and Din Djarin have their little homestead, and that felt very much like a Western, like ending with and the hero retires to his homestead.
Yeah, exactly.
Puts up his feet, and then Grogu playing with the frogs.
Doesn't the camera iris just going on Grogu? Am I remembering that right? The very last scene is just a little circle on Grogu's face.
And also you have Mando tells the rebel pilot guys, he's like, "Oh, you can hire me and I'll be a contractor and I'll help you fight Imperials. I'm gonna be bounty hunter by trade." I like that too. So it it kind of shows you what the next season is going to be.
It gives an idea of what it could be for sure. I hope that's what
they do.
I would love it if it goes back to being the episodic Western style like season 1, but I doubt it. I think it'll do that for 1 or 2 episodes, and then it'll become big plot again. But that's okay because I really liked this season and it was big plot. Anyway.
I'm assuming that what's her name, Kane, the evil Kane will come back. So
yeah,
she'll still be. They'll have to get rid of her character. I mean, I would be fine if it ended here, but as we all know, it won't. So
yeah,
because it is a great way to end the series.
Yeah, I really thought when I saw it, I was like, okay, are they going to end it here? Because they easily could.
I thought it was, and then I read that it's not. I was like, because that just felt like, okay, that's it. They finished The Mandalorian in a great way. That's perfect.
Right.
Put a little bow on it. It's done. But no, it's coming back. But that's okay. I'm fine with it coming back.
I am so excited for Ahsoka now, though.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go. So I like Rosario Dawson. I think she's charming and she's amazingly beautiful. I've had really had kind of a crush on her since Rent. But I think she's not the best actress sometimes, and I think she's really not very good as Ahsoka from what little she's been in with it. But maybe she can be, and it just hasn't had the best lines. I don't know. I'm going to look forward to Ahsoka anyway.
Well, I mean, part of it is we're going to get Thrawn.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm excited for.
I'm excited for Thrawn. And honestly, I really like Ahsoka in Clone Wars. I like her character. I mean, she grows over the course of the series.
Oh yeah,
she can be a little annoying in the first season, but
she is.
Here's what I'm gonna say. This is just an aside. I feel like Giancarlo Esposito would have made a great Thrawn as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have an actor yet.
They do.
Role. They do. Okay.
The guy who voiced Thrawn in Rebels.
Well, that's
okay. That's fine.
At least it's not an established person. I guess.
I
at least
forget.
it's not.
I mean, that's what they did with Katie. That's what they did with Katie Sackhoff for Bo-Katan. But Katie Sackhoff voiced Bo-Katan in Rebels and Clone Wars.
And there's already showing 2 Sith that are in the trailer that are going to be in the show.
Okay.
And we do know in the trailer, I can say this too, Ezra Miller, the Jedi from Rebels.
I was going to say, Ezra Miller is in the corner, like, eating human flesh or something.
I think Ezra. Or maybe whoever the Jedi that survives in Rebels is going to be in Ahsoka. He's in the trailer.
The kid that escaped Order 66 at the beginning of Bad Batch. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's Kanan.
Oh, that's Kanan. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not going to be in Ahsoka.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't get out of Rebels. Let's just put it that way.
All right.
So his story ends in Rebels.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's all you need to say. Okay, well, yeah, no,
they put him away.
I think Ahsoka has potential to be good. You know, I don't know. I feel like the Mandalorian is its own thing, and Andor is amazing. Book of Boba Fett was trash, almost beginning to end, and Obi-Wan was a pretty decent 2-hour movie that got stretched into a not great series. I don't know where Ahsoka's going to fall on that continuum of Andor to Boba Fett. You know, it's really hard to say.
But
I hope it is. I hope it's. But I don't think it's going to be like Andor. I think at best it'll be like on par with Mandalorian, which is great. I mean, I love Mandalorian. I don't think we're going to get anything like Andor again. Not out of the Ahsoka series.
No.
I think to get something like Andor, you need a character. Like Andor technically was an existing character, but barely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you need stuff that isn't Jedi related. And Ahsoka is going to be all Jedi stuff. So
yeah, well, that's like Mandalorian. Mandalorian was not a character, an existing character. He's an existing race, but he's not an existing character, and so they're able to do so much with it. And I feel like some of the worst Mandalorian episodes are the ones where they bring in existing characters. But I don't know. Some of them are good too. So I don't know. Yeah, Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka's got potential. I've been watching the Red Letter Media breakdown of the Obi-Wan series, and they actually liked it.
Interesting.
They were pretty positive on it. They were like, "Yeah, the show's dumb, but I like it. It's fun."
Sometimes they have a wild card. You know, I don't know. Sometimes you think they're really going to hate something, and then
that was exactly it. I watched it assuming they were going to hate it, and the 3 of them, 2 of them liked it, and 1 of them didn't. I can't remember their names. The one that plays Plinkett in the Plinkett reviews. He was the one who liked it the most.
Yeah.
He was very positive on it. I think it's Mike is his name. Yeah, Mike is his name. But the youngest one, the young one with spiky hair, he hated it. And he's like sitting between the 2 of them. He's like, "How do y'all like this?" It was pretty funny. But I actually was thinking about it. I think I liked Obi-Wan mostly. Just it had some rough parts. But watching those breakdowns, which is like 3 episodes, 3 like 1-hour YouTube videos. So it's pretty long.
Okay.
Just maybe like want to go back and watch Obi-Wan.
Someday, maybe.
Yeah. I don't feel like I have time I barely have time for the shows and video games I do for this podcast.
Right.
I completely understand that.
But my vacation starts day after tomorrow, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, tomorrow's the last day of school, and then teachers have to go in the next day, and then we're done. So.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'll finally watch Rebels.
All right. And I think we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Peter, what about you?
I'm saying put it on your shelf. It's nice. It's a fun series. If you watch the other Mandalorians, you've already come this far. You might as well watch this one. And I feel like there's some stuff in here I'm going to revisit every now and again. There's some good visuals, some fun adventures. Jack Black appears out of nowhere at one point. But I did like it overall. So, you know, it is something I may end up revisiting. And that's usually my criteria for putting it on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I'm also going to put this on the shelf. I really enjoyed this, and yeah, I enjoy all of it, but it was a really good, I felt, season. Yeah. And what about you, Kerry?
Yeah, shelf, of course. I love this show. And, you know, it's probably the weakest of the 3 seasons, but that doesn't mean anything. It's still better than most television. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, so you will hear, if you're listening to all our Star Wars stuff, the next thing you're going to hear is us talk about Solo after this, but then this Ahsoka airs in August, so probably November, you'll hear us talk about Ahsoka, most likely. Talking in the sequel trilogy too at some point this year.
I forgot we were watching Solo next. That's going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, do something.
I haven't seen that since the theater. I don't.
Yeah, neither have I. Well, I did see a couple minutes of it at one point. But anyway, we'll talk about it.
So that's what you can look forward to. We've done tons of other Star Wars content. You'll see you can find everything on Podbean. Just search us and listen to us talk about all the movies and other Mandalorian season 1 and 2, which are 2 of the best episodes this podcast has ever seen. So, and Peter, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at PeterBP, and maybe one day one of these other social media networks not owned by a terrible person.
Maybe never.
But I'm also, if you look up the Fifth Civilization, that's my first book of a sci-fi trilogy I've written. You can find me there.
All right. And Kerry, where can people find you at?
Hey, I'm Karuseta on Twitch, Kerooseta, also on YouTube. You can watch me modify and repair video game consoles and play video games.
All right. And if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. Little Star, you can vote in our Patreon polls. We have one every month. Sometimes we have more than a month, but go check that out. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok. And want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who did the MCU movies with me. Started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40s. Definitely go support him. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Audio only, but we are on YouTube. If you can find all our content. And we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Later.